All right, how's everyone doing today? Thank you guys all for joining me on today's third webinar. If this is your first time joining, my name is Chris Garrett. I'm Asteroom's Chief Revenue Officer. Let me get some more light going here. Thank you all for attending today. And one quick note before we get started, I understand we changed the link last week, so some of you may have had the wrong webinar link, and I'm sorry about that. The link will not be changing. This is going to be the same link every week moving forward, so that mishap won't happen again. And if you did miss last week's webinar, we've got it recorded. It's up on Facebook and YouTube, so feel free to check that out. And today's gonna be a great one. So today we're gonna be discussing how to stand out and win listings with 3D tours. And the focus this week is on advertising. So how do you use 3D tours in your advertising? And stick with us, because everyone that attends and stays throughout today's webinar will be getting a free 3D tour. This is the only week we're doing that. So thank you all for joining and attending this week. And as we go through it, if you have questions, feel free to add them in the comments here on Zoom, or if you're on Facebook watching live, feel free to add those in, and I will address as many as I can at the end of today's presentation. All right, today we're going to dive into some ways that you can advertise online and how you can leverage your 3D tours. To start with, most platforms, when you use 3D tours, you are going to see a couple huge benefits. The first is going to be, when using 3D tours in your advertising, you're going to see a lower cost of acquisition. The second is going to be a higher ad engagement. And the third is you're likely to see an increase in your conversions. Now, the main reason for this effect happening in your advertising through 3D tours is that people like to engage more with 3D tour content when it comes to home viewing. We've worked with several advertising partners that have been able to share some of the insights that they've learned, as well as insights that we have learned here at Asteroom, and that's what I'm going to be covering with you guys today. When I talk about advertising today, I'm talking about two main purposes. Two ways to generate leads that I'm going to cover, which are the likely scenarios that you're going to be interested in. First is generating leads for homes that you're trying to sell. And then the second is generating leads to acquire new clients, new sellers who are interested in listing their home with you. So we'll go through each of those scenarios today on different ad platforms, how you can use 3D tours for those and whatnot. Before I get into the where and how of purchasing real estate leads, it's important to step back and think about the core pillars of your current lead foundation and what it's built on. The truth is that no two real estate businesses are really going to look the same, especially when it comes to advertising, and nor should they. For example, your team may really have a finely tuned process for winning on Realtor.com, while another top producer might be a total boss at converting Facebook leads. So before you break your budget on a spray and pray approach to paid lead generation, it's important to think about the lead channels available and which ones are going to be the best fit for your unique business philosophy. So to start with, there are 5 major types of real estate lead generations, both paid and non-paid, that I'll briefly cover. The first is pay-per-click leads. The second is paid social media leads. The third is real estate marketplace leads. The fourth is organic leads. And the fifth is going to be your referral leads. So with pay-per-click leads, these are real estate leads coming from advertising or search engines such as Google or Bing. Here you're targeting specific queries related to real estate. Obviously, Google AdWords is a predominant platform for PPC leads due to it being the largest. However, those Google ads can get a little pricey quickly. So an effective search strategy should be highly tailored to your business. Many search leads are still in their early research and need time before they can fully convert. They need time. So you're going to want to include them into some sort of nurture program. And I'll get into all these details further in the webinar. The second that I covered was your paid social media leads. So you're going to be buying, for example, leads through Facebook or advertising on Instagram. Those are comparable to PPC as far as generating leads in terms of both the cost and conversion strategy. But unlike PPC leads, where you can target a specific search query, social media ads typically allow you to use prospects' interests and broad targeting parameters to reach them. The third is going to be your real estate marketplace leads, AKA your portal leads. So you can think of those as leads coming from Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, things of that nature. And I'm not going to be covering too much of those today, but it is one of the lead generation strategies. But we're going to be covering more of the social media advertising sphere. And the last two are your organic leads. So organic leads are real estate leads that will come through your own channels and networks. For example, like your email newsletters that you go out, your landing page, websites, blogs, things of that nature. And the last one was your referral leads, which obviously it's in the name. Past clients or people in your sphere of influence are going to generate high quality leads for you. So let's jump right into things here. So knowing which platform or which social media platforms to use for your real estate business really depends on who you want to reach and what you want to post. For real estate specifically, Facebook and Instagram are going to be your go-to applications, but try them all out and see what works best for your business. Like I mentioned before, everyone has a different philosophy and different core pillars when it comes to this, and this is not a one size fits all. So go out and see what works best for you. But a quick breakdown of what we're going to go through today and some of the top social platforms that you can advertise on are starting with Google. Everyone here is familiar with Google. They are great for finding people with intent. As the world's largest search engine, you can direct traffic to your websites or blogs or whatnot through your ads based on the keywords people type. The second is going to be Facebook. Again, every one of you, I'm sure, is familiar with most of these. Facebook is a must-have platform for real estate business. With 2.7 billion active users, it's by far the biggest platform, and it's the best place for you guys to share new blog posts, new listings, your virtual tours, your 3D tours, things of that nature. It's also the best place for actually, Facebook accounts for more than half of all social media usage in the US, and it has the largest share of users between the ages of 30 and 49, which is the perfect buyer or seller demographic range that most of you guys are probably looking at targeting. The next is going to be Instagram. So Instagram specializes in aesthetically pleasing photos and videos. So you're sure to want to bring high quality content here. The visual nature of this platform and when you advertise allows you to really show off the listings and your 3D tours. So don't underestimate the use of Instagram stories, which allows you to post interactive polls, surveys, questionnaires, things of that nature. Next platform we're going to cover today is LinkedIn, which often is referred to as a business social media site. LinkedIn's an important way to stay connected with the important business leaders in your community who may be referring you leads. So I'll be going through how we can advertise on LinkedIn today. TikTok, this is one some of you may not be familiar with. It's one of the newest platforms, and it's become hugely popular. It's a China-based short video sharing social network platform used typically by people in the younger demographics where they post vertical style videos. And we'll be diving into that today as well. Last two we've got here is Twitter, which I'm sure all of you guys are again familiar with. It's a happy medium between Facebook and Instagram. It's due to its limited character count. It is the home of short and effective messaging. Fun note, I mentioned it last week as well. Twitter is actually the birthplace of the hashtag. So fun note for you guys. And then YouTube owned by Google as well. It's a video platform where people can upload videos, people go there to watch video content, things of that nature. So developing your social presence and your ads on all these platforms is going to be key to gaining new listings, standing out, and being an effective marketer as well as realtor. So any social network we talk about or advertising will allow you to really connect with your audience and help you guys grow your business. So let's jump right into the first platform. Which is Facebook. So Facebook has for a long time been the king when it comes to advertising. Facebook's a very visual oriented platform with a multitude of advertising options and ad campaigns that give you the ability to share pictures, videos, and creative graphics. With unique paid advertising layouts, copy options, targeting, and more, Facebook is one of the more intensive yet useful and easy to use platforms when it comes to advertising, which is going to make it ideal for any one of you guys looking to get into paid social media advertising for capturing potential clients, as well as selling listings. So I've developed two different ad examples that I will show you here. The first one on the left here is a in-stream video ad of a 3D tour walkthrough video. So we actually provide with every 3D tour that you guys create with Asteroom in order, the 3D tour imaging package, it comes with a walkthrough video, which I'll go through. I'll share an example later how you can download that. But with this, I've created a Facebook ad presenting the walkthrough video with the purpose of trying to sell a listing. So this is one way that you can use Facebook and one ad example that you can use to generate leads to help sell listings. The second ad that I've created here is actually a screenshot that I took of a 3D tour. And what I did was add a past client testimonial to it, which is a very easy way to incorporate the imagery of the 3D tour, which is what allows your ads to perform better, into a piece like this, where I am on this piece trying to gain a new client. So you can use ads of this nature. I believe this one is a Facebook news feed ad. And you can use things of this nature to actually go out and try to get new leads for clients that are interested in selling their listings. So when it comes to Facebook, I've got 3 big tips for everyone that I would recommend you guys try to incorporate into your advertising. The first is going to be to take advantage of the targeting options. So one of the most incredible advantages to using Facebook when it comes to real estate advertising is that it comes with a plethora of targeting options. You can target people likely to move who might be interested in buying your listing, or you can target people that are likely to sell who would like your services as an agent. And some of the ways you can target are by the zip code. So you can use past selling history to help you with this one to get, for example, the most accurate results. So you can look at where people are ordinarily moving from and if they're moving into your area. So you can use and target those zip codes for potential buyers. For example, maybe you live in a vacation area. Maybe it's near a large metro area. So you know a lot of people are looking for houses but live in that large metro area, for example. The second is you can target by income. So you can navigate over there and actually input the income-based pricing of people that you're trying to target, which is very nice, especially when you know there's maybe it's a higher end property, you need higher end wealthier clients, for example. The next is going to be target by home ownership status. So you can actually target by home ownership going through the detailed demographics page on Facebook. And so you have 3 options that they're going to give you. You have first-time home buyer, homeowners, and you have renters. So depending on what the ad is, you can pick those. The next is going to be targeting lookalikes of past customers. So if you're a high performing agent or your brokerage, it maybe runs ad for the brokerage itself, you can do this where you can input your past customers into Facebook, and then Facebook will work its magic and look for what's called lookalike audiences. So definitely taking advantage of Facebook's targeting is my first tip when it comes to their ads. Next is to use 3D tours and walkthrough videos. So video marketing, 3D tours, and going live on your stories are going to have a huge impact on your real estate. Facebook advertising efforts, actually Zillow research and Facebook research have shown the following. Ads using videos get 400% more listing inquiries than the ones that are not using video. And the second stat is that ads using 3D tours, 3D dollhouse images, like this one here, it's just a screenshot image, have a 35% lower on average. Now, you may not experience it, this is just average stats, but has a 35% lower cost per click conversion versus using 2D still images. The reason for that is people want to engage with 3D tour content, and so people are more likely to engage. So Asteroom has several advertising partners such as AdWorks. Through them, we found reasons behind why Facebook's advertising is so much more effective with the 3D tour content, and that's some of the data that I'm sharing with you guys today. The last tip I've got for you guys is to run ads during optimal times. So as a real estate professional, I'm sure you're aware that there are times when people spend more during particular months or times of the year, depending on the area you live in. So a couple ways to prepare yourself for advertising is to, one, put more cash behind your ads at peak seasons. And then maybe you can conserve your budget during slower times. It kind of depends, because you don't want to give up your advertising completely during peak season, because this is the time when you can be lining pockets. So it really kind of depends what your ad is, depending on that peak season, what you're trying to achieve. And then my last one is prepare your marketing material and property ads during slow season. So you've got everything lined up during that peak season. That'll really help you guys out, because I know you guys are all very, very busy. Next platform we've got today is Instagram. So Instagram is one of my favorite platforms to advertise on because of its versatility. It's a great way for you guys to leverage your 3D tours into selling properties for more and faster, or to gain new clients' listing leads. With 3D tours, you can expect the buyer pool interested in purchasing sight unseen, so advertising can be effective with an expanded region. It can be just as effective at attracting people looking for an agent to help them sell due to your ability to target them. I've created two ad examples here, two different ones. Both are using different screenshots of the 3D tour dollhouse. I always try to incorporate the dollhouse because it immediately stands out to people and they know that there's a 3D tour that can view versus just property shots. With both, I've added some text and images to the screen. Well, actually, I've added text to both, but images to one, obviously, you can see here. And it takes just about a couple minutes. So take a screenshot of your dollhouse when you're on the outside view, and then you can add some text. So this one, we've got a selling example. It's posted, just listed, view 3D tour now, and they click into the 3D tour. This one is trying to gain new leads. And so we've got a testimony here, a screenshot of, your clients that sold their home that are happy, and, a message, thinking of selling. I'll create a 3D tour, and you've got, custom branding here, whether it's Berkshire or whatever your brokerage is. So with that, those are two great examples and great ways you can use your 3D tours as advertising material and encourage people to reach out to you. So with Instagram, I've got a couple tips, 10 best practices that I would recommend that you guys incorporate when you're coming to advertise on Instagram. First is define your goals. So define why you're advertising on Instagram. Is it to engage people that are searching to purchase their first home, or are you looking to for people that are interested in selling their home? Defining the goals ahead of time is going to help you get through the flow of configuring your first advertisement and help you choose the campaign objective. Next is going to be get local. So when you set up your first advertising ad, you're going to notice a lot of options in terms of creating that target audience. By far, the most important option for a real estate agent using Instagram is going to be that location targeting. So make sure to configure this first. And the wonderful thing about Instagram is you can get pretty specific with the location targeting by using a set zip code and radius. That way, you're only showing the ads to people that are likely interested in your properties. Next is going to be to take advantage of the targeting options. So you can get really specific with demographics to target based on types of properties you're selling or renting, for example, if you are doing renting. So if you're selling, for example, maybe high-end luxury apartments in the Upper East Side of Manhattan, you don't want to target lower end or lower income 20-year-olds, right? Because they're less likely to want your listing. So definitely incorporate those demographics into your targeting when you're using Instagram. And I do recommend keeping an eye on the audience size meter. You don't want to have one audience that's way too small or too targeted, and also not too large. So like get a healthy range, and it kind of, I can't really give you a range because it depends on the market, but you'll figure that out depending on how your ads perform. Next tip I've got is research hashtags to create a relevant list. Using hashtags, if you were with me last week on social media's webinar, is really, really helpful. And so hashtagging might seem useless, but it's really going to have a big impact on the reach of your Instagram content. And research shows that Instagram posts with at least one hashtag have 12.6% more engagement than those that don't use hashtags. So that's data just coming from Instagram. So definitely try to incorporate hashtags into your content because it's gonna help. And if you're looking to get more information on that, check out last week's webinar. I talk a lot about hashtags. Use carousel ads to show more of each property. So maybe that first image here is that 3D tour, but the next you can show highlighted, rooms or hot areas of the property you think are really desirable that people are going to want to view. So don't limit yourself to just one image because you have options. So if you've got more images, more quality content, use it. Next is going to be bringing your properties to life with video ads. So now we're talking about ad formats. How do we discuss the ability to use the power of Instagram video ads? Why limit yourself to those still frames? So according to research coming from Instagram on this one, from Zillow on this one, listings with videos receive 400% more inquiries than listings that don't use videos. So think of the impact that will have on your advertising if you're going to use a video. So again, you can use our listing webinar video or listing downloadable listing walkthrough video, which I'll show an example in a moment. Next is going to be ensure your imagery appeals to a lifestyle. This goes without saying, but you need to ensure your imagery on Instagram is stunning. Make sure that you choose the highest quality images you can for your ads to draw in those potential clients and incorporate them into your ad copy. So an example of this is you can use Asteroom to stage rooms that you can use to showcase different lifestyles. For example, you could use a modern furniture and the aesthetic and then create a modern ad and target, maybe your upper Manhattan, you're looking for a modern buyer, that kind of thing. Next is going to be sharing customer testimonials. Your testimonials are very, very powerful, and they definitely help when you incorporate them in your ads. It adds a sense of credibility to your ads and helps encourage people to reach out. Then two more, keep your ad copy short and simple and direct, short, sweet, and direct. This does not mean you should neglect your copy. When it comes to Instagram, people go there to view the imagery, but it's important not to forget that ad copy, because the thing to remember about Instagram as an advertising platform is that people are going to be looking first and reading second. So it's important to not let the copy not match the high quality of imagery. and it can help tell the customer more. For example, maybe you include pricing information, square feet, location, bedrooms, all that kind of stuff is very helpful. And lastly, create an ad schedule to maximize your budget. I've talked about you guys being busy, so you can actually schedule ads to go out during peak times or low times, so you can do all your work during a lower peak time when you've got the time for ads, and then you can run them, you know, when you're busy, and you still get the benefits of those ads. So, all right. Next, we have got TikTok. When a new social media platform takes over as quickly as TikTok has, it's really something to pay attention to. So TikTok is become extremely popular. It was founded in 2017, or actually it was launched in the US in 2017, and it's quickly become popular. If you're not familiar with what TikTok is, it is a user-friendly video creation app that's, well, it's available worldwide. It's mainly used on mobile devices where people create short videos and add filters, effects, music, things of that nature. And typically the video lengths range from about 15 to 60 seconds long. So with many of you not being familiar about TikTok, I'll give you a little background why you guys probably should get up to speed on TikTok and consider advertising with them. The first reason is that, for starters, the app has 14 million active users per month in the US who spend an average time about 47 minutes on the app. And many of those users are Generation Z, with about 50% of them being between 18 and 34, and an additional 20% of those between 35 and 44. So you do have a good majority of people that are within those home buying ranges that you're looking for. And 37% of those users on the platform have a household income of over $100,000. So that's something to pick up on. Here's two different examples. I didn't create these, but these ones I found from some fantastic realtors out there. The first one on the left is someone doing a video walkthrough of a property. So you can do the same thing with your downloadable walkthrough video. You can make it fun, add some music to it, that kind of thing. The second, and that obviously is trying to sell a listing. The second one is a video of an ad that an agent is talking about how they're different as an agent. So you can do a video showing your 3D tour kit and how you use it, for example. Maybe that's a good idea, highlighting the unique ways you market listings and then the impact that 3D tours have for your clients, or that they could have for your clients that you're looking for. Similar to Instagram's ad manager, TikTok's advertising platform allows you to automate the process of creating, delivering, and optimizing your ads. So you have two different budgeting options, daily or lifetime. And with both options, you can set the budget so it's not set in stone, which is nice. And it's also similar to Facebook and Instagram. You can create custom audiences and lookalike audiences in TikTok. So there are 5 different types of TikTok ads. There are in-feed ad types, brand takeover, top view, branded hashtag challenge, and branded effects. And so you guys can all play around, mess with the different ad types depending on, you know, what you guys are trying to develop or your stories. The TikTok in-feed ads are the video ads that appear in between your user videos as you're scrolling on your For You page. So you can get super creative with these, with multiple call to actions, typically 9 to 10, 15 seconds long, that kind of thing. You've got your brand takeover, which are, they're presenting the full screen video to your targeted audience. So they are opened, when you open your TikTok and you've received an ad right away, those are the brand takeover ads. That's what I'm talking about here. You've got your top view ads, which are the new advertising option, which build on the brand takeovers. And what makes the the top view ads different is that they, unlike the branded takeover ads, users aren't bombarded with your ad as soon as they open the app. So they're in the first in-feed post after 3 seconds. So they'll show up at the top at your For You page. So it's great for like premium real estate ads up to like 60 seconds, that kind of thing. The Next one is your branded hashtag takeover challenge. So this is kind of a one-of-a-kind advertising opportunity only available on TikTok, which is, if you've ever seen branded hashtag challenges on their platform, it's on the discovery page. Similar to the regular hashtag challenge, they offer both organic and sponsored opportunities for brands. So it's a great way to encourage like user-generated content, maybe from your community that you're building. If you've got a community, you can do that. So it's a great way to leverage your social media into maybe some of your ads. And lastly is your TikTok brand ad, the branded effects ads. So TikTok offers branded shareable stickers and AR filters and lenses in their advertising mix, similar to Snapchat, which allow you to design your own custom filter on the app. And so these can be live up to 10 days, and they're an awesome way to encourage users to directly interact with you. A few top tips for you guys when it comes to using TikTok is to adapt your real estate resources to TikTok. And what I mean by that is, because it's a short form content, think about what kind of content you're doing now. Like if you have a blog or you have a webinar like this, it's like an hour long. How can you break that down into something that's 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and adapt that to TikTok? So this is a great platform to do stuff like that. Measure the success of TikTok based on the engagement. That's another tip I've got for you guys. It's a really, really great place based on their algorithm to have a human touch and personality with the content. And great way to measure if you're being successful is through that engagement. So you can ask yourself, are people engaging with my content? Are they asking for more when I give them a call to action? That kind of thing. Use trending sounds and hashtags. So on the Discover tab within the app, you can explore trending hashtags and sounds that you can use on your content. This is a great way to get more views on your content. And then lastly is start conversations. So posting on TikTok is just the first step. Once your content is live, your ads are live, you want to be able to engage with people. So for example, if your TikTok has a question or a call to action on it, this is going to trigger people to leave a comment, and you're going to want to respond to those kind of comments. All right, so next we have got Twitter. Twitter is where you are, when it comes to advertising, you're going to be promoting your tweet. So there isn't too much to discuss when it comes to creating these tweets. So, because I'm sure most of you know how Twitter works. So when it comes to creating an ad, you have several options for the actual objectives. In general, I think most of you will select, which I've selected here, which is website clicks as your objective, since you're going to most likely want to derive the leads from your traffic to your website. So that's going to be the one I'd recommend you click when you're creating these ads on Twitter. And Twitter has evolved over the past couple of years. So I've listed out a couple big do's and don'ts that I suggest when it comes to using Twitter due to the nuances and kind of unspoken rules of how people engage with Twitter. So some of the do's are use visuals. Visuals king on social media. According to Buffer, tweets with images bring in 18% more clicks, 89% more favorites, and 150% more retweets. So here's a great way where you can leverage that 3D tour content, for example, the image of the dollhouse. Monitor Twitter lists. So this is another great one I'd recommend, is to create a list of people you're going to monitor. So with Twitter, it's all about real-time action, communicating in real time. Some of the ads can be that way. So set up a list of businesses, influencers, people that you want to monitor, so that you're always up to speed with relevant information and can be involved in the conversation. And that leads right into engage. So once you've got a tweet out there and people are talking, make sure to engage. If people are commenting, comment back, retweet other people's posts. Make sure that you provide your unique value to help generate valuable feedback that's going to help foster that stronger connection. So the classic rule when it comes to Twitter etiquette is always follow back or retweet when someone follows or mentions you. Next, I've got ask questions. Big rule of Twitter is to ask your audience questions. You know, you can do polls, things of that nature. It's great. Give it a personal spin. You know, people say it all the time, real estate is a personal business. So make sure to be personal. Show your human side, show behind the scenes, events, things of that nature. And lastly, apply the 80-20% rule that I've mentioned on my other webinars, which is make sure that 80% of your posts are helpful or interesting information, and 20% of your posts are promotional posts, such as listings, open houses, things of that nature. If you do too much of promotional stuff, people are just kind of tune out. So you want to have a healthy mix. When it comes to don'ts for Twitter, there's just a couple things. First, don't overwhelm your followers with an onslaught of listings and open house info. If you do too much of this, people are going to tune out. So like I mentioned, have a healthy mix. Next, don't overuse or abuse hashtags. Last week, I talked about this. You know, if you're going to max it out, it looks jumbled. So, you know, 9 to 11 is kind of the golden number for some platforms. I know it is for Instagram. I'm not sure about Twitter, but use some, but not too many. Don't get greedy with your tweets is another thing. So how frequently you post. Twitter is definitely one where you can post more frequently, but there is a limit. So don't try to find the balance. And then don't be generic. It's easy to retweet without taking the time to say something about the content. And if you don't tell people why they should care about that, then you're really not doing any good. And I'll leave you with this for Twitter. In the words of Grant Bolter of Realtor.com magazine, or Realtor magazine, Twitter isn't a platform for sharing information. It's a chance to make your elevator pitch in 140 characters. So ask yourself before tweeting, why would someone be interested in this? I think that's really impactful. So I'll leave you guys with that and move on. Next, we have got LinkedIn. So I bet most of you have probably never advertised on LinkedIn, but I'm sure you'll all be surprised when I tell you that LinkedIn boasts a 2.74% visitor to lead conversion rate, which may sound small, but to put this in perspective, Facebook has a 0.77% visitor to lead conversion rate, and Twitter's at 0.69%. So LinkedIn's is huge when it comes to that. And the reason for this is mainly linked to it being a business-oriented platform. So there's no, photos of kitties or lunch updates. People are there to do business. They see business marketing posts, and that's the reason behind most of that. So LinkedIn online by its numbers has 774 million users, which is smaller versus Facebook and Twitter and other platforms, but 29% of American adults do use the platform, and the demographics of people using the platform are perfect for your advertising. So a majority, 77%, are 30 or older. Nearly half the people on LinkedIn earn over $75,000 per year. Nearly half of LinkedIn's users are college graduates, and 90% of the users are involved in the household decision-making. So demographics align really, really well with what NAR's profile of the average home buyer and seller lead is. So it's a great platform to use in that nature. So let's talk about some of the ad type examples. So you're going to want to familiarize yourself with these three mainly, in my opinion. There's more to it, but this is all I have time for. First is the pay-per-click text ads. So these ads allow you to formulate ads with a small image on them along with a headline. So again, you can use that 3D tour dollhouse image in ads like this of that nature. And so you can put those up and try to generate leads with that nature. It's a really, really budget-friendly way to advertise on LinkedIn. If you're concerned about budget, this is the way I would go about it. The next one would be retargeting. So retargeting is a really popular option on Facebook and Google ads, and it's now reached LinkedIn. And it allows you to basically follow people across the internet based on cookie-based technology. So you can use basically retargeting people that visit your website or visit maybe another blog of yours or some other piece to follow them around on LinkedIn and gently remind them of your presence. And the last is going to be lead gen forms. So these are forms where you can collect users' profile information and increase the chances of them filling out these forms. And in today's oversaturated market, it's a great way to generate leads and actually get them into, for example, if you're funneling them into like an email system, this is a great platform to do that. So a couple of quick example ideas I had for listing ad types here would be create a listing walkthrough video. This is a great way to target people in areas that might not be where you're currently at, but are interested in going there, but couldn't view your property in person. For example, maybe you've got a listing in the Hamptons and you're gonna know that the buyer is likely from Manhattan that may not come to view the property in person. So this is a great opportunity to do that, so you can advertise in that way. Next would be highlight something unique about yourself in a business in an ad to gain clients. For example, you can do that 3D tour screenshot with agent testimonials is a great example. Next is you can create a class or an event to advertise and get people to join. So maybe you hold an investors event where you invite people that are interested in learning about your market to invest in to join. That's a great one. Next, an easy one would be to use the listing carousel to advertise a listing using images of the property of the 3D tour. And lastly is a conversation ad. So this is where you actually send a direct message to someone. For example, you can target maybe real estate investors. They say they're an investor and you can actually message them, say, hey, I've got a couple of properties. Are you interested in taking a look at them? Whoops. All right, on to YouTube here. YouTube's a great platform to advertise on, but know the costs are typically going to be a little higher than some of the other platforms that I mentioned, like Instagram and Facebook. I have two great YouTube ad examples. So the first here, this is actually what your walkthrough video is. So I hope it's big enough for most of you guys to see it. So this is provided free to everyone. And I'm aware probably most of you have never used this or know about it because we don't talk about it enough. But how you get to this and how you download this video is quite simple. The first step is going to be you're going to go to your desktop, laptop, desktop, and log into Asteroom. We unfortunately can't provide the video on mobile, so you have to download it on a desktop device. So once you've logged into your account, find a 3D tour that you've ordered that's going to show a house icon. And the house icon represents you having a 3D dollhouse. So once you've created a 3D tour, ordered it, and you've got it back, click the preview on that tour. And then on the top right-hand side, you're going to see an icon with 3 dots. And select that icon, and that's basically, it represents more. And once you do, you're going to see the option to download your teaser video. And so that's how easy it is. So log into your desktop, preview the tour, click the more button, and then click download. So this is a great way you can use a video like this, or you can splice this video as use it as B-roll into other ads you're doing, things of that nature. The second is an example of an ad designed to gain leads. So it'd be a short video ad that maybe plays between someone else's video. A couple top tips here for you guys when it comes to using YouTube. Choose your ad format wisely. There are quite a few different types of ad format types. So depending on what you're trying to achieve, pick the best ad designed for that. So for example, if you're trying to raise your brand awareness with an engaging video ad, then it would make more sense to run a true view in-stream or discovery ad, right? On the other hand, for example, if you're looking to target, get more targeted and gain leads to your website who are generally interested in your offering, it might make more sense to use sponsored cards for that. So my advice is experiment with a few different ad format types and depending on what you're trying to do. So next tip is segment in-stream and discovery ads into different campaigns. So after you've made, similar to how you're separating your Google AdWords campaigns into search versus display, which I forgot to mention earlier. Oh, no, I haven't mentioned it yet. Google's coming. I'll mention that in a moment. You're going to want to do the same here. So in-stream ads and discovery ads, which were previously known as in-display ads, are very distinct from one another. And the difference is the in-stream ads played before, during, or after videos, while discovery ads appear next to related YouTube videos as part of the YouTube search results alongside the other display network content. So the differences between these should have a big impact on your budget and your strategy, and it's going to help you control your campaign level if you separate these two types. Next is take advantage of YouTube's targeting options. Just like what you do on Facebook, Twitter, and Google, pay close attention to the audience that's consuming your messages and optimize those. So, you know, try targeting different demographics or layer in affinity audiences, things of that nature. Next, this is one of my favorite, is set up video remarketing. Video is super, super powerful. YouTube's a great platform. A lot of people spend time there. You can do remarketing here, which in my opinion is one of the most effective targeting methods when it comes to YouTube. So if you're unfamiliar with remarketing, it's a way to follow your website visitors with advertisements in other places. I've mentioned it a couple times, but if someone visits your website and they go to LinkedIn, you can retarget them there. You can retarget them here on YouTube, Google, other things of that nature. So I would definitely recommend this because it'll help keep you top of mind for when people are ready. They may not be ready the exact moment you show them an ad, but or they interact with you. But this is going to be very, very effective for you guys. And last tip is create compelling human content that feels native to YouTube. With so much video content on the internet and the option to skip over and opt out of it, it's really important to focus on high quality video content. When it comes to YouTube, the first 5 seconds are the most critical. You have to make it so engaging those first 5 seconds that someone's going to be willing to watch the rest of the video. And then another tip, I didn't write it down, is make sure that the video can be played even if it doesn't have audio. So sometimes people mute it. It's great if you can also have that option. So our walkthrough videos is a great representation of that. And the last platform is going to be Google here. So Google is the most searched or used search engine with over 5 billion search queries a day. And they have 5 different ad types to go with. And of those 5, there's 3 that you're probably going to want to focus on. First is going to be search, where you have text ads on Google search results. Next is going to be Google display ads on websites. And the third is video ads on YouTube. Like I mentioned before, YouTube's owned by Google, so it's wrapped into that. So for example, I've got 2 examples up here. Actually, let me get to that. The other 2 types are going to be shopping. So if you're selling a product, you can directly have people purchase it on Google. So maybe you're selling a t-shirt, you can do that, but it's unlikely for real estate. And the other ones is an app promotion. So those are the 2 that I don't think many of you are going to use. But I've got 2 examples here, and these were created through our partner here at Asteroom called AdWorks, where they create 3D tours they create ads using the 3D tour image here. And this is an example of, trying to sell a listing, just listed ad. And here is that same image being shown on Wall Street Journal. So this is a Google display ad where the image is displayed on websites across the internet. You can also do search. So for example, people click certain terms, they'll be looking for your site. So couple mistakes. The hard truth, honestly, when it comes to Google AdWords is that most realtors fail using AdWords. And the fact is, there's a couple common reasons why. Weak ad copy, sending traffic to your homepage instead of a landing page optimized for conversions, not collecting enough data to make an educated decision about your campaigns, and then lacking a solid goal, like not having that KPI in mind. AdWords is a great place. It's really great for realtors, advertising, because you can focus on intent. So when a buyer or seller uses keywords, you can determine the intent that they're actually, what they're looking for. So for example, when someone searches that they're curious about a specific neighborhood, you know that they're serious about buying or selling a house in the neighborhood fast. So it is a fantastic platform when it comes to using that intent versus other platforms like I mentioned, like Facebook or Instagram, where you can't do so much on intent, but more on interests. So when it comes to that, I'm running out of time a little bit on today's webinar, and I want to give enough time for questions. So I'm going to jump to the next slide. And if you have questions about Google, we can go into more depth at another presentation here. So how to best use 3D tours in your advertising. To sum up today's webinar on how you can use 3D tours in your advertising to help you stand out and win listings, the key takeaways I hope you all take from this is, first, leverage your 3D dollhouse screenshots to create ads with them. This visual will outperform most 2D still images of a home. Data backs this up, and I'm sure you're going to see an improvement in your ad performance when you use that dollhouse image. And you can be super creative with how you use that image and how you incorporate in your ads. Next is start downloading and using your walkthrough videos. Whether you edit them and add in small portions of other videos or use the entire video, this is a great video to leverage. Oftentimes video ads are played muted. So visuals like this that don't need a lot of words are a fantastic option to use in your ads. And with this kind of video, you're going to really stand out versus other realtors that maybe did film themselves walking through the property, for example. And it just comes off a lot more professional, well put together, and it naturally leads to people interested in learning more about the property and becoming, someone that might do an offer, as well as impress basically people of how you advertise that listing, looking for other realtors that they want to maybe work with to sell their listing. Then the last one and the most important takeaway I hope each and every one of you get is to educate your buyers and sellers. They don't know the benefits that they receive from 3D tours. It's your job to show them. You're all here today because you understand the impact 3D tours have. And I've highlighted some of the top reasons right here that you can use and talk with those buyers and sellers, along with the data supporting those. Doing so is going to help make sure you differentiate yourself from the next realtor, and it's going to put you head and shoulders above anyone else because you've got proof of what you're doing that makes you unique and the impact it's going to have for that buyer and seller, along with the data that backs it up. So people don't have to take your word for it. Now, we've previously covered a lot on how to build your brand, how to use social media. If you haven't seen those webinars, you can find those on Facebook and on our YouTube. And feel free to join our community or subscribe on YouTube if you want to get notified for like new training videos and of that nature. In the past weeks, I've covered a lot about being value driven. And I encourage you all to think about your ads in a nature of what's in it for me, putting yourself in the shoes of who's the person viewing it, and try to create unique content and value for them. So this is a quick overview of how you can use your 3D tours in advertising so that you can help stand out and win more listings. Everyone that attended today's webinar, I'm going to have a list, and your account is going to be credited with a free 3D tour imaging package. So thank you all for everyone that attended and stayed till the end. So next time you guys order a tour, as long as it's not more than 30 panoramas, if it's more than 30, it isn't free. So it's got to be under 30 panoramas. It's going to be credited into your account and it won't expire. So whenever your next one is, you should have this pop up. I don't believe there's a dashboard that's going to say it, but the credit should be added to your account. So when you check out, that final price should be 0. If it's not for any reason, and there's, maybe it's 2 years from now that you're doing it, contact us here at support, say you were on this webinar, and we'll be happy to help you on that and get that corrected. So thank you all for joining me on my 3rd webinar. This is again being recorded and it's going to be on our YouTube channel and on Facebook immediately after this. So anyone that would like to review it afterwards can do so. I've got my email up there. So if you have ideas for future webinars or want to connect with me, I'm always available. So happy to have you guys reach out to me. Next week, we're going to be covering how to optimize websites to stand out and win listings. So that's going to be a good one too. So join me if you got a website you're looking to learn about how to optimize. And now we'll spend the remaining time with questions. So feel free to drop in your comments or in the comment section all your questions, and I will go through as many as I can. And I can stay over the hour if you guys are having additional questions. So let me pull up the comments here and see what we've got. All right, a lot of you guys joined us today. Thank you for that. Let's see here. Why aren't rental properties using tours as well? From Kareem. It's a great question. I have actually had a couple agents contact us saying they are using it for rental properties. There are companies out there like apartments.com and some other companies like that that do use it for rentals. So I have seen that. Let's see here. A lot of great feedback. Thank you guys for this feedback. I really appreciate that. I'm always trying to do better webinars for you guys. So thank you guys for that feedback. Jim, will you be able to share an ad example template? That's a great question, Jim. I don't have any templates developed. I'm happy to develop some templates. So why don't we do this? If you guys want some templates for some ads or ad examples, drop them in the comments right now. Let me know what platforms you're interested in, and we'll work on making those. Jim, if you're interested in getting a copy, or actually anyone, of this webinar presentation, send me an email and I'm happy to send you guys the webinar slides here as well. So if you're interested in that, you can do so. Are you using separate programs to make a walkthrough? No, we're not. It's all developed in-house. So one notion for that is it might be a slight delay. When you receive your finished 3D tour, it takes 24 hours for your virtual walkthrough video to be created by us. We're trying to make it faster. That's really the best we can do at the moment, you guys. But no, we're making that ourselves. So great question, Lackey. Let's see here. All right, seeing a lot of comments here for some Facebook and Instagram templates. Great, I will make sure we work on developing some templates of that nature. And we can go in more depth into each one of these platforms for advertising on future slides after this 6 series webinars. So if you guys have thoughts, or you guys really want us to go deep dive into Facebook or things of that nature, let us know, and we'd be happy to do stuff like that. All right, so let's see here. All right, a lot of people want templates, so it looks like we're gonna be making some templates for you guys. Let's see here. All right, so those are all the comments I'm seeing in chat. I'm gonna jump over to Q&A here and then finish up on Facebook to see if we have any questions from anyone viewing online. So keep adding those questions. From Michael, will this webinar be available to view later again? Yes, it's live on Facebook. It should be there. We're going to be adding it to YouTube as well. And so you should be able to access this recording anytime. And we'll also add it to our Facebook community, another great spot. And if you haven't joined, definitely check it out. It's a great community, a lot of awesome people in there. So definitely take that opportunity to join us if you're interested in being social. How do I get the free tour again? So you guys have to do nothing. I've got a list of everyone that attended today. We are going to work our magic with our technology team here, and they are going to automatically credit your guys' accounts. So the next time you guys check out, as long as that tour is under 30 images or equal to 30 images, it'll be free. If it's not, contact or support will help you guys out. Like I mentioned, that shouldn't expire, so you have that credit as long as you need it. All right, so let me jump quickly over to Facebook and see if we've got any comments. Okay, no comments coming in from Facebook, it seems like. So let's see, last chance for any other questions you guys have got. Let's see. Christine, what is the best software / company to help manage sending ads to each of these platforms? Great question, Christine. So there's a couple platforms out there that are pretty good. It depends on which platforms you end up using. So us here at Asteroom, we don't actually use any for that nature. I will do this. Let me get some research because I don't know which ones are probably the most prevalent. When it comes to this kind of things, here's a tidbit of advice for you guys. Technology changes very quickly. I have a background in property technology companies. This is, I don't know, like a 5th company. When you're looking for some software, evaluate the options every 6 months because things change so quickly. So what I know from what worked 2 years ago may be completely different. So I don't want to mention those companies with them, not being prevalent today. So Christine, let me get back to you guys on that. There's a couple platforms like Hootsuite, which are good for social media management. But I'd have to get back to you on some of the platforms I'd recommend. I haven't done any research recently on that. If you want to drop an email in there, Christine, or send me an email, I'm happy to follow up with you on that later. No need to drop it in there if you don't want everyone to know. Okay, last call. Any other questions that we see? Do your posts have hyperlinks to the 3D tour? From Carl here. Let me see here. Oh, give me a sec. Carl, one moment. Yes, our posts have hyperlinks to the 3D tour. So you can do a couple things with your ads, right? I could go into really a lot of detail on every single platform. But for example, maybe you want to direct people directly into the 3D tour ad. If you have, for example, your 3D tour on your website, you have the option in the top corner to have a contact us field, which is called branding, which you can't have on the MLS. So maybe you want to run an ad, have people view your 3D tour, and they can contact you directly in that tour, as long as it's not a tour display by the MLS, which can't have branding, where you're not allowed to have that in general. Or you could send them to your website or a custom landing page, realtor.com listing. Maybe it's a lead gen form. You want to collect their emails so you can have like a newsletter thing going on. Completely depends on you. So yes, you can have the hyperlink for your 3D tour there. Christine, I got your email down. I will follow up with you. And yeah, that seems like all the questions we have today. Thank you guys all again for joining us, or for joining me. I have a lot of fun doing these webinars, and I'm really, as long as you guys join, I'll keep having them. So hope to see a lot of you guys next week. And again, appreciate all the great feedback, and let me know if you guys want to see some other stuff from Asteroom. And thank you again for choosing Asteroom and for joining me today. So hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys all next week.